What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Big Booty Motors. So today we're back working on Big Booty Trudy, and we're going to be installing some Kaiju Handlebars from XF50Moto. So in the past, and you probably you might have seen the video, I just installed some kind of cheap drag bars on here, and they've been alright, but I figured I want to try something different, so I went ahead and picked up these Kaiju Handlebars from XF50Moto. So it should be a pretty quick, easy install. We'll get into it here in just a moment. Before we do, let's take a look at the parts that came with it, and then we'll get ready to work. Alright, so here's the contents of the Kaiju Handlebars from XF50Moto. First off, you've got the main actual handlebar plate, and this is what's going to bolt to your bike using the 4 supplied bolts here. And then you also have the actual handlebars, which are going to slide into here, and then you can adjust length, as well as these, you take the screws out and you can adjust the angle you want. So pretty self-explanatory, not a whole lot of parts to it. But he also threw in some stickers and a keychain, so that was pretty sweet. All right, let's get the front end of this bike torn down, and then we can start getting these handlebars installed. All right, to start to get access to everything down here, we're gonna go and disassemble this front end. And I'll do it in the hyperlapse real quick, but for me, it's gonna be taking the headlight off just because I have my aftermarket headlight on, taking off this panel, side covers, and then we can remove these. So I'll do that in hyperlapse, and I'll be right back. All right, now that we got the headlight and most of the front plastics off, we have access to all this stuff if we need to get to the cables and connectors and stuff. But next, what I'm gonna do is start taking off everything else from the handlebars. I've got my controls on both sides plus my quad lock mount. So I'm gonna pull all that off, and then we can pull the handlebars themselves off. Alright, one thing to note is to get the throttle off, I did have to unhook it at the engine side, which is kind of a pain in the butt, but I did it, and then I was able to get this all off. So now we're ready to pull the old drag bars off, and that's pretty simple. You just stick these little plastic covers and they just pop off, covering up your bolts. And then they're just some M6s. Alright, now these top caps for your bars, we're not going to need them on the Kaiju handlebars, but I wouldn't throw them away. Hang on to them for if you ever go back to your stock setup. Alright, so now that we got the old bar out of the way and everything, kind of get the controls out of the way, we're going to take our main Kaiju handlebar, and you can see here the 4 different bolts, and they line up with here. And these ones here, they're a little loose so that there's a little bit of play to make sure everything lines up. So once I get my M6 bolts put in, then these are M5s, I'm going to tighten them up too so that they're solid. Alright, so now we got the main bar in there, it's all tightened down, minus these ends, right? So we have the last part of the actual handlebars to install, and that's the actual handlebar. And now, one end of these does have a little screw off cap, and then the other end is just open. I'm gonna put this cap up top here and then run it down here because I have the bar end mirrors, so they can still go in here and I can still have that as like a cosmetic piece. So I'm gonna get these slid in here, and then I'm gonna have to, I can already tell, I'm gonna have to adjust these out because that's, actually this might slide in now. Yeah, it's pretty aggressive. So I'm gonna go ahead and fan these out a little bit and getting everything tightened down, and then we start working on getting our control switch back up. All right, so this is the configuration I ended up going with the bars. Went a little more inward than I normally do. I'm just gonna give it a shot because it's easily adjustable. So that in itself is the actual handlebar install, so it's pretty simple. Now it's just going to be hooking up my controls again, putting my grips on, and my quad lock mount. And this is going to be different depending on which controls you're using. If you're using the stock controls, you've got these little nubs that stick out that you're going to have to drill a hole into your bar so they line up, and that keeps them from clocking around the bar. So it's a good thing, but your position might be different based on whatever you're using. So I'm going to get this all put back together real quickly, and we'll go on from there. Alright, so I got my controls mounted, my mirrors, my quad lock, and these are all just preliminary until I actually get out and ride and see how everything's gonna fit. Might move this around or something, but yeah, you can see she's pretty good. Now it's just gonna be reassembling the front end, and then let's go take this thing for a ride. Alright, so the handlebars are installed. It was fairly straightforward. Now it's time to get this thing off the lift, adjust my mirrors and all that kind of fun stuff, and then take her for a rip and see how she goes. So it's been a bit of an extended test period on this thing. There's about 500 miles on the bike since I've had these handlebars on there, which has been great because, you know, I give you 500 miles worth of experience on it, and actually I love these handlebars compared to my old drag bars. Just much better handle position, and I like that they're adjustable. You can put them where you want. Two things I want to point out though. One thing that I messed up on is these little decorative end caps on them. I forgot to check the tightness on them, and one of them was loose and ended up rattling out, and I lost it. So make sure you check the tightness of those so you don't lose them like me. And then the other thing is normally, like, I don't ride in the rain, but taking this thing from here to Seattle and back, it did rain on it when it was in the back of the truck, and some of these bolts are starting to rust. So what I'm going to do, what I would recommend you do, is just replace the hardware with some stainless steel so that they won't rust and look good. Well, other than that, like I said, pretty simple install, just, you know, tweaking it to your likings and stuff like that, but it's a really good ride. I like the look of it and everything. So again, I will put a link in the description to purchase this kit if you'd like. And with that, I'll catch you guys in the next episode. See you later.